Hi guys, Janine from Bellies to Babies. Going to show you how to make a safe bed for your baby. So if you take a look at this bed that I've got made here, this is a pee pod and I have made a really unsafe bed for this baby. So I'm just going to lift it up so you can see just a little bit more into the bed, but please don't do this with your baby. So to start with, I've got a teddy bear in your baby's bed. No teddy bears in your baby's bed. Your baby has no idea what this is for. They're really dangerous. Your baby may pull it over their face and not be able to get it off again. So if a great grandma has sent you a teddy bear and wants a photo, absolutely, it's in the bed for the photo, and then it's back up on the shelf and your baby will be able to play with it when they're a little bit older. I've got a polar fleece here as a blanket. These are a no-no as well, so we only want natural fibres in your baby's bed. Polar fleeces don't allow the air to circulate around your baby, and your baby can overheat really quickly. So if you're worried and thinking, oh my goodness, I've got a whole lot of polar fleeces sitting there and I'm not going to be able to use them, you can use them for all sorts of other things. They could be blankets for the floor, for instance, or if you're going for a walk in the pram just as a short distance. I also haven't got this blanket tucked in very well at all. Everything needs to be really tight and secure, so something loose like this is a hazard potential for your baby to pull and pop it over their face. Same with this blanket here. This is fine. This is an air cell blanket, but once again I haven't got it tucked in, so we would need to actually tuck this in really tight for it to be safe. But we'll take this out and I'll reuse this blanket in a moment. This one's also fine. As you can see, it's tucked in nice and tightly. This is just a brushed cotton sheet, so really good for keeping baby warm, particularly in the colder months that we've got coming. Now what we have got with an issue with baby here is that baby's too far up at this end of the pee pod. They actually need to be at the foot of the bed, and I'll explain why. We've also got a hat on this baby, and that's another no-no. So no hats for your baby to sleep. Hats are fine if you're going for a walk around the block and it's a cool afternoon or morning, but not for sleep. Okay, this is just hats for short time is absolutely fine. You may notice that baby's on his tummy as well, and actually babies need to sleep on their back, and they're safe on their back, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. As for the pillow, no pillows in your baby's bed either. So we've got a couple of companies in Hooks Bay particularly that sell pillows for your newborn, but these are really dangerous. Your baby's breathing tube is really, really narrow and it's really soft. It's only about the size of a drinking straw, sorry. So really, really soft and able to bend. So pillows under baby's neck is going to cause your baby's neck to bend, which may compromise their breathing. So no pillows in your baby's bed. So whatever you're going to put your baby into, it needs to be a safe space. And there's all sorts of things you can put your babies into. You can bassinets, wakakuras, Moses baskets, into the cot, a bottom drawer, a suitcase, or something like this, which is a pee pod. So this is a pod that's designed to co-sleep with your baby and be able to co-sleep with your baby nice and safely. So whatever it is, if you can, make sure it's got a new mattress. If you've borrowed one or you've got a second-hand one, that is absolutely fine still. Put it in the sun so the sun can sit on it for the day and the breeze can blow through it. That way if it's been stored, the sun will kill any bacteria and the breeze will hopefully blow some dust out that may have been collected while it was stored. We also want a really firm mattress. So this is quite a firm mattress, so baby's nice and flat. We don't want a mattress that's going to be curved for baby, so they're sleeping on a curve. So as I said before, just cotton in your baby's bed. So I've just got a cotton sheet underneath baby. If it was a really cold night and we were coming up to winter or something like that, ideally we'd probably want some wool underneath this sheet. Now that could be a woolen blanket, it could be a merino, it could be a sheepskin. If you're looking at using a sheepskin in your baby's bed, please make sure it's a specific baby sheepskin rather than a normal sheepskin that you would buy from a shop. Classic sheepskins sell them. They're really reasonably priced and they're processed in a really different way. So you put your sheepskin on top of your wool on top of your mattress, and then you would tuck your sheet in over the top of that so it's nice and tight. So we want to make sure that baby's place for sleep is really, really safe and secure, and nothing is going to change in this environment from the moment we walk out to the door till when we come back in to either settle our baby or feed our baby. So babies need to sleep on their back. A couple of generations ago, babies used to sleep on their tummies, and you may have been slept on your tummy too, but there was lots of studies done and lots of research done to say that babies are safe to sleep on their back, and they're designed to sleep on their back as well. So if you've got great grandma coming to you and saying, oh, your baby will settle so much better on their tummy, well, no, you just say, grandma, sorry, this is the way we're doing it, we know that they're safe. So just to give you some statistics around cot teeth, I don't want to scare you or anything like that, but just to give you some stats while we're talking about making a safe bed. About those 2 generations ago, we used to lose 250 babies a year in New Zealand. Lots of research, lots of studies were done, and lots of New Zealand studies were done as well amongst those overseas studies, and they realised that babies are safe on their backs and they're designed to sleep on their backs. And so the rates came down, lots of education was done, the rates came down, and we said about 50 to 60 babies in New Zealand a year that die from cot teeth. Various different reasons, probably the most prominent one of them will be that suffocation. So babies got into a position that they're unable to get themselves out of. So that might be a teddy bear over their face, or that might be that they've got stuck in their pillow, or they've got blankets up over their face. So we need to be aware of that and make sure that your baby's safe every time you go down to sleep. So I'm going to show you how to make a safe bed for your baby. We want to have baby at the end of the bed, not at the top like I had before. So if you're putting your baby straight into a cot, that's absolutely fine. You're going to have your precious little bundle at the bottom, and you're going to have a massive big space at the top up here, and that's okay. Your baby will grow and will fill that space. Leave about 1 inch at the bottom here, and that's just so you have room to tuck in your baby's blankets and everything. So I'm going to use really similar blankets that I just showed you before. So we're going to use that cotton, brushed cotton sheet, and we're just going to put baby's blankets to their underarm line. Okay, so just up to here, tucking everything in to make sure it's nice and tight and that nothing's loose. All right, we're not worried about keeping their head warm, we're worried about keeping their trunk warm. So we're not going to swaddle this baby at the moment. I will show you swaddling in another video. So this is an ear cell blanket. You can get, it's a cotton ear cell blanket, you can get woolen ear cell blankets as well, and this is just a bassinet size, so it fits in here really, really well. You can get right up into king size, I think, extra king size potentially. So they come in all sizes for all beds. So that's nice and tight, nothing's going to move at all. If baby does happen to wiggle down a smidgen, and they do wiggle, they do move a little bit while they're sleeping, then they're not going to be able to get too far because we've got those sheets tucked in and they're pretty much at the end of that bed as well. Now with some cooler nights, you probably want wool of some description. So you can have a woolen blanket like this. That would be really nice and warm for baby, but just be aware that this has got lots of little holes in it, and that's a space that little fingers are going to potentially get caught in. So while this is a really nice soft and warm blanket, I wouldn't be using it in their bed. This is a merino blanket. It is a little bit big for my pee-pee pod, so I'm just going to fold it over. And so merino is obviously really nice. Now you can use bamboo as well if you've got bamboo blankets. So wool, cotton, bamboo is the only blankets and the only bedding that we want on your baby's bed. Alright, so baby's tucked in nice and tight, nice and snug, and we know that nothing is going to change. I'm just going to tip that up so you can see that again. So we know that nothing's going to change in that bed from the time that we walk out of the room to the time that we come back in and either settle baby, maybe give them a rub on their tummy and just reassure them that we haven't gone too far, that we're still here, or maybe it's they've got a wet nappy or it's time for a feed. So checking baby's temperature, 2 fingers down inside the front of their clothing, down between their nipples. Don't go down the back, you're more likely to wake them up. Easier just to stick 2 fingers down in the front there. Babies don't sweat, but they will get kind of clammy, so they'll feel a little bit sticky. So if you think, oh, it's a bit warm tonight, baby's feeling a bit warm, I'm going to take 1 layer off and then I'm going to come back and check in 10 minutes. If you think, hey, it's a little bit cooler tonight, check baby's temperature. Yes, I need to put a blanket on, come and check in 10 minutes once you've put that blanket on. Don't feel their foreheads. As I said, we're not worried about keeping their heads warm, so no hats for baby's head because we regulate our temperature through our head. So if they have a hat on, they're actually going to potentially overheat quite quickly. Also, if you haven't swaddled them, and it's a little bit hard with a doll, but they'll actually sleep with their arms up like this. And once again, we're not worried about their little hands getting cold, but if they do, you could put mittens on, or you could put little baby socks on their hands if you were worried about that. Your baby might have got some a wedge, a little triangle wedge. Now I don't actually have one of those. Usually I just draw it on the board for you, but if you've been given a wedge, they're designed to allow baby to sleep on their side. So there's a little wedge in the front here, there's a thin piece of fabric where your baby lies, and then there's a bigger wedge in the back here, and so they're designed for your baby to sleep sideways like this. But actually your baby is 2 times more at risk of dying of cot death on their side as opposed to sleeping on their back. If you've got great grandma that says, oh, put baby to sleep on his tummy, he'll settle a lot better, but your baby's 6 times more at risk of dying of cot death sleeping on his tummy as opposed to sleeping on his back. So we know they're safe, we know they're designed to sleep on their back. All right. You might be worried about baby getting a flat head because, excuse me, it is a doll, about baby sleeping on their back all the time and getting quite a flat head at the back here, but there's a little rhyme that's really easy to remember, and you can actually turn their heads when they're a newborn and they will stay like that because they don't have that neck control and be able to turn their heads. So it's in the night towards the right and in the day the other way, and so you would turn your baby's head one way for a day sleep, and you would turn your baby's head the other way for a night sleep. So it might be that you've got door on one side of the room and maybe window on the other side of the room, and so you would face door for day sleeps maybe and window for night sleeps. This pee-pee pod has actually got windows down here that you can see. So these are designed to be in bed with you, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's a sun on this side on that little window here, and there's actually a moon on the other side, so that helps parents know to alternate heads. And then you've got baby up for cuddles and, you know, sing songs and breastfeeding and stuff like that, and you can have them tummy time as well, so that's taking the pressure off the back of their head. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Catch you soon. Bye.